to our English class. Children, do you have friends? Do you make friends? If you are having friends, what kind of friends you are having? What can you do for your friend? So the term friend is very complicated because we love our friend. So friendship is that relation that you can do anything for your friend if it is really true and real friendship. So today we are going to study a chapter from the snapshot from the chapter named The Ghat of the Only World, written by Untitled Ghosh. So this chapter is about the fulfillment of the promise made by a friend that Shahid, the protagonist of this chapter, had requested Untitled Ghosh to write something about him. And in this way, this piece of article was written by Untitled Ghosh to fulfill the wish of Shahidali, his friend. But before moving towards this chapter, let us know who Untitled Ghosh is. Untitled Ghosh was born on July 11th in 1956 in Calcutta, now known as Kolkata. He has written many books such as The Circle of Reasons and The Hungry Tide. He was awarded with Padma Shri in 2007. So this is the image of Untitled Ghosh. So in this chapter, he has written about Agha Shahidali, who was also a poet. Let's know him first, who Agha Shahidali was. Agha Shahidali was a Kashmiri poet, but he was living in America. His collection include A Walk Through the Yellow Pages, The Half-Inch Himalayas, A Nostalgic Map of America, The Country Without a Post Office, and Rooms Are Never Finished, the latter a finalist for the National Book Award in 2001. So, this is the image of Agha Shahidali. You can look at this image and you can see that how lively he is, even though he was suffered from the disease called cancer. Yes, this story starts with the approaching death of Shahidali. So, on 25th April 2000, he spoke with the author about his approaching death. So, when a friend is telling something about his own death, how we feel at that particular time. So, like that only, Untitled Ghosh was really depressed. He was sad after knowing that Agha Shahidali was approaching toward his death. So that was captured, and that particular moment he requested his friend Untitled Ghosh to write something about him after his death. So in this situation, how we react if our dying friend is requesting us to write something about him after his death? So how will we answer? How will we react? That particular time, Untitled Ghosh refused to write because he was not able to write anything about Shahid. He says that there are so many other friends of yours who knows better about you and having full knowledge of writing poetry. I'm just a writer. Why have you chosen me to write? But Shahid requested him that I want you only to write something about me because I know you will be having that capability of capturing or writing the essence of my death. So he was knowing how talented Amitav Ghosh was, and he was knowing that Amitav Ghosh should not just remember him as a friend, but by writing about him, he will never forget him. So this was the main idea of requesting Amitav Ghosh to write something about him. So in a friendship, when we get to know each other, there will be some common links to have a good friendship. Like they have common friends in India as in America, and they love Rogan Josh. It is a Kashmiri dish made up of mutton or lamb. So they both like that Rogan Josh dish, and they love Kumar Sanu's song, and they love Begum Akhtar's poetry, and they love Bombay films. These things were common between them, and that's why they were having a same bond or same likings. Just because of these same likings, they were good friends. So Shahid was a Kashmiri poet and a professor settled in America. He was a cancer patient. He had been under treatment for 14 months. Even though he knew that he was having cancer, but the lifestyle he lived was so amazing. He never made others to feel pity on him that he is suffering from cancer. He was that brave, that cheerful person who loved and invite people at home and make parties, make gatherings. He was very sociable kind of a person. He loved people, and he loved people to talk on poems and poetries because he liked intellectuals. So these kinds of people he was. And one fine day, one incident we can narrate about his braveness, that when Amitav Ghosh went to the hospital to receive him from his discharge from the medical, he refused to sit on the wheelchair because he think that he was brave enough to walk. So he walked few steps and he fell. That particular time, his brother Iqbal ran and bring the wheelchair. So in that particular moment, we can realize that he, even at the last stage, was brave enough to face that challenge that he was suffering from cancer. He was there to walk, even though he was weak physically, but mentally he was so strong, and he smiled. So that kind of person, if we are losing, how we feel? So lively, so lovable, so intellectual. His words, when we read those poems that was written by him, especially the poem named The Country Without a Post Office. The Country Without a Post Office. So this was a masterpiece written by him. So in this particular poem, he has written about Kashmir, the country without a post office. So we know the situation of Kashmir nowadays, and he had witnessed those politics and religious matter. He don't want to mix those things in his writings, but at the same time he was a very secular kind of a person, because he believes in all the religions, even though he was a Muslim. But he requested his mother to make a temple in his home, and he kept all the god and goddesses in his home. And with this, we can imagine that what kind of a person he might be. Such a great thinker who believes in one religion, who respect all other religions also. So these kind of persons are, we can say that they are very rare, they are very special, they are very unique. And these kind of people always proceed towards death early. So you might have also experienced that whom you love the most will go away just because of the term called death. It is the death only who separate us from each other. So Aga Shahidali doesn't want his friend to forget him just in his thought. So he had requested him to write about him. And after writing this article, Amitav Ghosh had fulfilled his promise to his friend Shahid. So in this chapter, we came to know about his writings. So he was not only a great poet and write poetry in English and lived in America, but he had a kind of patriotism. Means he had a sense of patriotism also. He loved India even though he lived in America. So the essence in which his writing was, he always writes about his motherland, India. So this shows that he was a patriotic kind of a person also. So I'll just deal with the last paragraph from the passage so that you can be aware of the love between Shahid and Amitav Ghosh and the bond between their friendship. And this last paragraph is about the death of Shahid. And in this last paragraph, we came to know that how his death came to an end. The last time I saw Shahid was on 27 October at his brother's house in Amherst. He was intermittently able to converse, and there were moments when we talked just as we had in the past. He was aware, as he had long been, of his approaching end, and he had made his peace with it. I saw no trace of anguish or conflict, surrounded by the love of his family and friends. He was calm, contented, at peace. He had said me once, I love to think that I will meet my mother in the afterlife, if there is an afterlife. So this word touched Amitav Ghosh because he believes in afterlife. He believes that he believes and he knows the fact that he is approaching the death, but he is not sad of going towards the death because he is happy that he will meet his mother in afterlife. So that spirit was there in Shahidali. But if we are having cancer kind of a disease, at that moment many of the people will be depressed, and due to that depressed they go early. But Shahidali was not like that. He knew the fact and he had the courage to face this truth. I had the sense that as in the end near, this was his supreme consolation. He died peacefully in his sleep at 2 a.m. on 8 December. So on 8 December, he died peacefully in his sleep. Now in his absence, I am amazed that so brief of a friendship had resulted in so vast void. Often, when I walk into my living room, I remember his presence there, particularly on the night when he read us his farewell to the world. I dream I am at the Ghat of the only world. So here, what he has written in I dream I am at the Ghat of the only world means Ghat means the bank of river, as we know. But the title of the chapter, it signifies the edge of life, where Shahid was struggling for life. Since the word Ghat refers to the brink of our world, which is the only world known to us, so the title is justified. So, the Ghat of the only world. Here the Ghat is the edge of life of Shahid. So the word here is that Shahid was the word for his friends. So the Ghat of the only world. So he was that much lovable that Amitav Ghosh had fulfilled his promise by writing and telling us about his likes and dislikes, about his brave and courageous behavior, and the way he was fighting with himself, fighting with the cancer. So through this chapter, if we read this chapter, we sometimes get some energy and we get some inspiration from Shahidali, who was suffering from cancer, but still he was so lively and he was having that strong faith that he believed in afterlife and he accepted that challenge. Most of us never accept the truth, but he has the courage to accept the truth, and he was enjoying his life till the end. So in this chapter, we are inspired from the life of Shahid. So my dear children, if someone is suffering from cancer or they believe that they are at the end of his life, so please give them an example of Aga Shahidali and tell them that he was a great man who had fight against this cancer. So my dear children, I had prepared some MCQ for you so that it may help you in your coming examinations. First question: who is the author of The Ghat of the Only World? Option A, Amitav Ghosh. Option B, Aga Shahidali. Option C, James Merrill. Option C, Suketu Mehta. So the correct answer is option A, Amitav Ghosh. Question number 2. When did Shahid speak to the author about his approaching death? So we should remember these dates. It is very, very important. So whenever you read the text, go through it and underline those dates, because in 2000 he had a minor blackout. Option A, 25th April 2000. Option B, February 2000. Option C, 27th October 2001. Option D, 25th April 2001. So the correct answer is option D, 25th April 2001. Question number 3. The Ghat of the Only World is written by the author as a promise to his dash. Option A, mother. Option B, father. Option C, friend. Option D, sister. So the correct answer is option C, friend. The Ghat of the Only World is written by the author as a promise to his friend. Question number 4. Aga Shahidali was undergoing a treatment for dash. Option A, neurosis. Option B, cancer. Option C, knee injury. Option D, slip disc. So the correct answer is option B, cancer. Question number 5. What did Shahid want the author to do after his death? Option A, inform his family. Option B, drawing a painting in his memory. Option C, write a song for him. Option D, write something about him. So what is the correct answer? The correct answer is option D, write something about him. Question number 6. When did Shahid have his first blackout? Option A, February 2000. Option B, April 2001. Option C, February 1999. Option D, April 2000. The correct answer is February 2000. Question number 7. According to the author, what was the most impressive work of Shahid? Option A, Barcelona Airport. Option B, his writing of Kashmir. Option C, the country without a post office. Option D, none of the above. And the correct answer is option C, the country without a post office. Question number 8. When did Shahid and the author become friends in real sense? Option A, when they studied in Delhi University. Option B, when Shahid moved to Brooklyn. Option C, when the author moved to Manhattan. Option D, when a common friend introduced them to each other. And the correct answer is option B, when Shahid moved to Brooklyn. Question number 9. Shahid and the author had shared love for dash. Option A, Rogan Josh. Option B, Kishore Kumar. Option C, Roshanara Begum. Option D, all of the above. And the correct answer is all of the above. Option D, Rogan Josh, Kishore Kumar and Roshanara Begum. Question number 10. The author has described Shahid as a dash person. So what kind of a person Shahid was? Option A, unsociable. Option B, pessimistic. Option C, sociable. Option D, none of the above. And the correct answer is option C, sociable. Question number 11. Shahid described the view of the Brooklyn waterfront slipping into the East River as a dash. Option A, Ghat. Option B, waterfall. Option C, fountain. Option D, none of the above. And the correct answer is option A, Ghat. Shahid described the view of the Brooklyn waterfront slipping into the East River as a Ghat. Question number 12. Even after he knew about his nearing death, what did Shahid enjoy? Option A, being left alone. Option B, gathering at his home. Option C, poetry. Option D, both B and C. And the correct answer is option D, both B and C. What is B and C? Gathering at his home as well as poetry. Question number 13. Who had a great influence on Shahid's poetry? Yes, I missed this. I didn't tell you during the narration of the chapter. Option A, Amitav Ghosh. Option B, Sukhetu Mehta. Option C, James Merrill. Option D, Roshanara Begum. It is option C, James Merrill, who had a great influence on Shahid's poetry. Question number 14. Shahid had a special passion for which food in particular? Option A, Bengali food. Option B, Kashmiri food in the Pandit style. Option C, traditional food. Option D, not mentioned in the story. It is option B, Kashmiri food in the Pandit style. Question number 15. No matter what the question, Shahid worked dash into his answer. Complete the sentence. No matter what the question, Shahid worked dash into his answer. Complete the sentence. Option A, poetry. Option B, passion. Option C, nationalism. Option D, music. And the correct answer is option A, poetry. Question number 16. As a teacher, Shahid was dashed by his students. Option A, dislike. Option B, adore. Option C, envied. Option D, worshipped. And the correct answer is option B, adored. Even the students adored him. He was a professor and he was liked and adored and respected by his students also. Question number 17. What did Shahid describe as the happiest time of his life? Option A, his time in Arizona. Option B, his time at New York University. Option C, his time at Manhattan's College. Option D, his time at Penn State. So it is option D, his time at Penn State. Question number 18. Shahid's parents continued to live in dash. So I did mention this in my narration of the story. Option A, Manhattan. Option B, Srinagar. Option C, New York. Option D, Jammu. So the correct answer is B, Srinagar. Shahid by inclination was a political poet. Option A, yes. Option B, somewhat. Option C, no. Option D, not mentioned in the story. And the correct answer is option C, no. Shahid by inclination was not a political poet. Question number 20, the last question. Did Shahid write about being a victim of Kashmir destiny? Option A, yes. Option B, no. Option C, somewhat. Option D, not mentioned in the story. And the correct answer is option B, no. That's all for multiple choice questions that I have selected from the internet source and put it here for you. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you. See you in the next class.